What's up YouTube? So today we're going to be doing a faux location setup for a documentary. So this is going to be pretending like you got a call, you've never seen the location, and you're going to the place. Or you set up an interview, but you've never been to their house, and you don't really exactly know how you're going to set it up. So we're at location. Hello location. And we are going to walk in, choose the spot that we want to shoot. We're going to then set design, and then we're going to light it, and then shoot the interview. So it's gonna be a pretty fun video, so let's get in there. So now we're in the room, and you can see it's a little dirty. The client is just a normal person. They live life like anyone else, and they didn't get their house clean because it's not a setup. So what we're gonna do first is decide where we're gonna put our client. I've already made the decision that we're gonna put them in a chair right here on the carpet, so we can put some lights in this area off screen, but in front of these doors so we can kind of have a opening, if you will, and that will give this nice opening framing. You'll see this white frame is literally a frame for, you guessed it, our frame. But we need to clean up all this stuff. So your next step, once you find the place, set design. So we'll be right back with some set design. This is kind of what we got going, we're working on right now. I cleared out this area so there's no real space here. I brought this desk over here. I might audition it in depending on how it looks on frame. But the main set dressing is this room. We got these two chairs that were originally in there. We brought them back here. We brought that table that was in the center back over here. We might switch the tables depending on how it looks, or maybe just leave it back here. Put a plant on here. And yes, the person might be blocking it, but just if they're moving a little bit, it just has something you want to add depth. An issue potentially of shooting during the day is the sun is constantly moving, which is an issue. But when you're on location and you have to shoot somewhere with windows or whatnot, you deal with it. A way to kind of circumvent that, if you will, is setting up a spotlight outside the sunroom. Right now there's a deck outside, so I'm gonna put a light on a spotlight and blast it through here to add to this beautiful breaking up of the light and add a little more color into it, and it will also counteract the sun moving a little bit because there'll be a constant light pretending to be the sun coming through. I really like doing that. Anytime I can blast a spotlight in the back, I always do, because it really just adds some nice depth and contrast, and you'll see it once we have it set up. Over here, I'm just gonna have a key light, doing a book light, you know, one of my favorite lighting setups. Blasting here, filling in this person. Might have a little fill or a bounce board over here. And then to finish, I'm just gonna set up the tube light to give them a backlight. So let's get to that. And once we have it all set up, I'll break down how it all looks and whatnot. So see you there. Okay, so now we got the lighting done. So I'm gonna walk through what we have here. Oh, breaking a sweat. Okay, so we're gonna start with the key light. So what we have here is a 4x4 diffusion with a aperture 600D blasting off of a bounce board, coming in, smooth light onto the face. I'll give you a little background. Super simple setup. So you can see the light bouncing off the board, and then in turn, bouncing through the diffusion. So here we have a Quasar double rainbow 2-foot tube. And this is set a little warmer than daylight because we are at sunset. That's gonna be shooting down, giving a hair light or an edge light to the talent, the client, the interviewee, and that is gonna separate them from the background. We just have another Quasar 2-foot tube right here, just bouncing into the top of the wall, just to kind of give some light into this corner, because we are having some differential of lighting from this side with the spill falling down and on here. So I wanted to even that out, so I just threw in a tube just to give it some light. And then our final area is the spotlight, racking onto the furniture. It gives it some dimension. We've lost some of the sun since we started, but it still will fake the sun. The sun is not really playing on any of this furniture anymore because it's gone behind some trees. But when you look outside and you can see some of the lines, it feels like the sun is coming through. Just to show you what it's actually doing, I'll go turn off the light. So this is spotlight on, this is spotlight off. Spotlight on, spotlight off. So as you can see, it's kissing the couch, giving it some nice, sunset, yummy golden light, golden hour light, baby. And so that's basically the lighting setup. Nothing too crazy. It's a tube light, an aperture 600D and X. The X is outside, the D is the key, and an extra Quasar tube, giving some fill into the room. But you don't need to have these lights. I will recommend, if you do a book light, you should have a strong light due to the fact that you lose light when you bounce and also when you go through some diffusion. But in general, you could have a softbox like a 120 or even an Amaran. You can have a panel light with some cardboard over it and kind of give that Cucaloris style for the spotlight. And you can use, an Anoram tube light for the hair light or a panel. I'm just using the gear that I personally have. Now that we have the lighting done and the set design, let's see what it looks like on the camera. We made it, so we're here at the end. I've been doing this end part a little long, so we lost some of the light, so it looks a little different. But I hope you learned something and got some value from how I would treat going to a location that I haven't been to. From checking out the house and seeing what spot works best, to set design and the lighting. These little things, these little tricks that I've picked up along the way, pass on to you guys to hopefully help the next time you go to a place that you don't know. If you want to see me do this again, but a little more dramatic, a little more drama, this is a pretty all-around lighting setup. So if we're going for a murder mystery doc, let me know. Find a new location, kind of do the same thing. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Consider subscribing, liking, and I'll see you around. Peace.